Are you using same port scanning techniques as everybody else and not getting desirable results? It's time to change your approach. We will delve into port scanning strategies that will transform you from beginner to advanced. Many people use port scanner like Nabu, RustScan, MassScan, or maybe even others. Although there are certain areas where one tool is better than another, but why to reinvent the wheel? The Nmap has already many things you need. It has the best balance between speed and coverage. Many newbies say that Nmap is very slow. Not many people know that there are certain features of this tool that could make much better than, for instance, Nabu, speed-wise. It's time to work smarter, not harder, and discover the areas where other port scanners miss. We're about to break down the advanced port scanning tactics to make you stand out from the crowd. There are a couple of approaches I do usually use in the bug bounty. It actually depends on my mood. Either do I select single program and get intimate with it, go extremely deep, try to test everything, or I do hack on multiple programs at once. In this video I will show the second approach. For this case I will use BB Scope tool to get primary targets. I will only use public programs from Buckroute, and of course I will not show the recon data from the port scans and the port scans themselves, since it could be against the terms service of YouTube, and I don't want to self-incriminate or get in trouble for this. I guess I will only show the methodology and the port scan options I usually use when approaching a lot of targets. For this purpose I have created the YouTube directory. So let's see what this tool actually has for Buckroute specifically. I will only want to use the option together with this token and pass it to tbbscope.txt. I have manually collected results from BB Scope tool into two different files. As you can see, the first file contains IP and actually IP ranges as well. It only shows 26 results, but there will be more IPs detected during the scans. You will see it later. The second file contains many websites from public bug bounty programs. I have excluded the wildcard domains and only left www sites, or like the main pages. So there is over 500 results. It will be a pretty good start. I won't show the file contents here, since if something changes, for example program switches from public to private, I might need to remove this video, and I don't want to do that. So just believe me, there will be a lot of targets to play around. So the first command I would like to run with Nmap is for the host names. Let's pass the host.txt to Nmap and use pn flag to validate the hostname before a scan. I use min rate of 5000. It's the option that increases speed a lot, but do not overuse it, since it could also decrease the detection of ports sometimes. Also I use max retries of 1. I think by default the Nmap has multiple retries, so it could increase speed 2 or 3 times. I will also use max scan delay of 20 milliseconds. You can play around with 10, maybe less. So it will be just delay between each tried attempt. And I will use the aggressiveness of T4. The max could be T5, but if you use T5 you can miss some parts. And if you aim for balance between speed and coverage, select the fourth. Next, the top ports I would scan is 1000, and I also want to exclude those ports that actually I usually find using HTTPX, so I do not need to do this 2 times. And of course I will also want to check only those who are not filtered or closed. and I also want to save it as XML using OX output. So as you can see, it only took around 6 minutes to scan around 500 hosts. Not all of them were up and running, but still it's pretty good result considering the coverage and the speed. So you don't need to use ResScan or like Nabo or any other tool. Just mainly use Nmap using those options and you will be good to go. After getting the XML output, next thing to do is parse that XML file into the IP port format. I have made custom script on Gist for this. You can find the link down in the description. So let's try to explore the script. Basically what it does, it takes the file from standard input and uses XML library just to get IPv4 IPs, and for each of find IP it will also matches the port which is open and echoes it out like this. So let's try to use it directly by a terminal. I will use curl command with S option to be silent, pass it to the bash, S flag to take standard input. I use this one. Basically it will execute the script here, and I also need to pass the file, so it will be nmap.xml. And as you can see, it will output a lot of stuff and it's very useful. Additionally, what you can do is also pipe that to the HTTPX and check for status code. For example, status 200, like this. Now try to do the same for the IP and IP ranges file. I will use the same options, except the output file will be different. Well, it took more than 5 hours to scan more than 23,000 IP addresses. I have calculated, yeah, it's more than 5 hours. It was good enough for me since I left the scan in the background while I was sleeping. What you might want to do next is run the same script for IP ranges like previously, but this time just change the file name to nmap2xml. If you have read or watched my content before, you might know that I'm a big fan of Axiom, mainly for recon. So many of you might think that it could be also a good option for port scan. Well, I would hold my horses before doing this. It's actually against the terms of services for many cloud providers, and usually only sketchy VPS provider will allow that. So stay away from port scanning using servers, because you do not want to get in trouble. Believe me, I am talking from my own experience. Instead, I will only recommend using port scanning for selected few targets from your local computer, like main websites for various programs. As in this video, I have selected only 500 targets. Ideally, you want to scan those main targets once or twice a day using cron job from your computer. For some of you, it could be hard to understand how to set up cron job. To be easier, I suggest to use this website, crontab guru, and here basically for the minute you need to specify 0, and for the hours you can place any hour here, for example at 12. If you want 2 times a day, you can specify other hour, like maybe 0 and 12, even include 3 times a day or even more, like here. But I will use every 12th hour. Just copy this and go to your terminal, use cron tab with E flag and place it here. It will be run 12th hour, and right now you should place your nmap command here, like everything here. You hit the save and your cron tab nmap command will run every 12th hour. Other tip what I would like to share is, if you want to scan a lot of IPs at once, you could use this tool. Basically, it merges Nmap with Mascan and will make your life much easier. But keep in mind that using Mascan in the background could result less ports to be discovered. Also, I have created a poll in the Discord server about which type of content you would like to see. Many of you want to see live hacking or recon. I have plans for that in the future, but it does require a bit of investment from my side. To run everything smoothly, I will need better gear and a good internet provider. As YouTube is already a big thing for me, doing live streams will be a huge step. Because of that, I think I will start doing live after I hit 1000 subscribers. Not only I will be more comfortable around having more followers, it will also don't feel like only crickets are listening to me in the background. Many of you made me realize that my content is valuable to some extent, so I really appreciate that. As I enjoy helping people, so I will start creating Q&A sessions periodically as I reach 500 subscribers. Once again, it was really my pleasure sharing some tips. Subscribe to not miss any other, and have a nice hacking day.